There's been a lot of publicity about the expanded Russian presence in and around Cuba. What you may not know is the Chinese are there too, and it's a big presence and it's growing. And is there a connection with the Chinese in Cuba and all the Chinese military age men pouring across the border right now? You sent me an article that I found fascinating and also startling. The CSIS reported that the People's Republic of China now has more spy sites in Cuba than we ever knew. And this is on top of the Russian fleet sailing around Florida after visiting Cuba. Does the CCP presence in Cuba have a connection to, I hope you say no to this, the waves of young, military looking, very fit Chinese immigrants pouring across the border? Or am I just being paranoid here?
No, you're not paranoid at all, Barry. And I cannot but think there is a direct connection. Now, the Chinese took over the old Soviet era Lourdes listening station, intelligence gathering station, some time ago. But it is more recently that they have expanded their footprint on the island of Cuba. And according to the CSIS study, Center for Strategic and Intelligence Studies, the expansion of that is just recently published within the last few days at the CSIS website. China has opened and expanded its footprint, opening more bases of operation, intelligence sites, who knows, listening posts, aimed, of course, at the United States. But the other news that caught my attention about a year ago, in the summer, I think, of about 2023, was that the Chinese People's Liberation Army was at that point in time beginning to establish a joint military collaboration with the Cuban military. Now, you make the point absolutely right, Barry, that we have had in the last 3.5 years thousands and thousands and thousands of what you rightly call the young, fit, military-looking Chinese men pouring up from the Darien Gap and across our wide open southern border. Well, where better to position a People's Liberation Army command and control post than Cuba for whatever those thousands upon thousands of jungle tigers, they are jungle tigers, Special Operations Battalion of the People's Liberation Army. What better place, in addition to China's embassy, 4 remaining consulates, and multiple formerly secret police stations and separately special service stations, I guess they call them, here on U.S. soil. But all of that, it seems to me, needs a coordination point, a command post. What better than Cuba?
When I listen to you, with all of your experience in government service overseas, I mean, what are your friends at the CIA, at the NSA, at the FBI thinking to allow this to happen on their watch when they've all sworn to preserve and protect? It seems like we're just having a chat, and it seems obvious to me, obviously to you as well, but not to policy people that are deciding to leave the front door open. Hey, come on in. You don't look like a refugee. You look like a Special Forces commando, but whatever. Who's next?
I have no idea what any of them might be thinking, except to say that FBI Director Christopher Wray has appeared before Congress in hearings multiple times this year since January of 2024. And each time he has sounded the alarm. He has sounded the warning, repeating the phrase, terror, red lights are blinking red. And he has sounded the alarm, but I don't see the accompanying action that you might expect to actually take preemptive action against what we already know are not only tens of thousands of People's Liberation Army jungle tigers, but a whole array of criminals, gang members, jihadis, and various and assorted traffickers. We have them already here on our soil. Hard to say what's going on that we may not know about. I would like to think that they are preparing, but I don't know.
Isn't it better to prevent the fire than to show up later when the building's half burned to the ground?
Of course, which is why I was just going to mention about a week ago, little more, I had the opportunity to speak by Zoom remotely to the annual Sheriff's Association of the United States annual meeting being held in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And for them, in that presentation, which I called the Red Green Axis Revolution of 2024, I did go through a lot of what we're talking about right here. I hope at the local level, at least the sheriff's county level, that they took that to heart, and at least there at the county level can perhaps be prepared.